afternoon and good evening, wherever you are, and a fantastic, fabulous Good Friday to you all. This is the Full 100, presented by myself, Anthony Spencer, and today is Friday the 10th of April, 2020. The Full 100, as you know, we aim to dispel rumours and false news, fake news as well, and we aim to empower you to find the truth for yourselves. Right, so before I start, before we get to it, what I want to do today is, once I've given you my usual format, is to give you updates on those countries that we've chosen. As you know, the 4 countries and the 2 non-wired up countries, as well as Norway. Once I've given you that, I want to play a video for you. And once I've played that video, we'll then go into today's topic, which is about the vaccine, Bill Gates, and all of those rumors you guys keep hearing about. We're going to deal with them all today. Okay? So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, updates. Right. So, my friends, the United States is in a lot of trouble. And the United States is an example of what happens when you listen to fake news. Okay, so as usual, I'll start by giving you yesterday's numbers and today's numbers, so you see the difference in the 2 numbers. So as of yesterday, I'll always start with the UK. As of yesterday, the UK was 53,501 active cases. Okay, and 7,097 dead. As of today, we've gone up by close to 3,500 to 56,964. That's 56,964 active cases. And that's an uptick of about 3,500 in 24 hours. Numbers of those who have passed away. We was at 7,097 as of yesterday. We're now at 7,978. So we've gone up by about 900. We've gone up by just over 900 deaths in 24 hours, people. Jamaica, a bit of good news again from Jamaica. I'm quite chuffed and uplifted by the news coming out of Jamaica at the moment. Jamaica, as of yesterday, had 49 active cases. Today, they're down to 46 active cases. If you recall, the day before that, they were down by 1. Today, they're down by 3 active cases. Also, we still have 4 dead, so no additional person has lost their lives due to corona in Jamaica. And I have to applaud the Jamaican authorities, because with the little resources they have, it looks like they are really trying their best to get a hold of this, or the worst is yet to come. I'm hoping is the former rather than the latter. Okay. So, and the additional news for Jamaica is, as of yesterday, we had 10 recovered. As of today, we have 13 recovered. Okay, so again, really good news from out of Jamaica. Really terrible news from out the US, guys, I have to tell you. And I'm going to be discussing this in the show itself. The US, as of yesterday, if you recall, I told you they were very close to hitting 400,000. Okay. There were 397. I really shake my head, because these are thousands of people who are dying because of who their leader is, practically. And this really saddens me. And this is part of my motivation of doing this show. The US, as of yesterday, were 3,000 away. Only 3,000 away from hitting 400K amount of people. Active cases, not dead, active cases, right? So yesterday they were at 397,472 active cases. Now listen to this. They have jumped overnight by 69,000 new cases. 69,000 new cases in 24 hours. So today there are 466,299. There were 3,000 away from hitting 400. They are now at 466. So they've gone up by 69,000 in 24 hours. In terms of the sadly lost, the US was at 14,797 yesterday. Today, there are 16,686. So just under 2,000. You might as well call it 2,000 dead in 24 hours, people. We go to Spain. Spain, as of yesterday, again, good news coming out of Spain and Italy. And the reason I've chosen Spain and Italy, as I keep saying to you guys, is because obviously I started this blog before China could be included in this. By the time I started this blog just this week, the last 4 or 5 days, China's cases had practically disappeared. They're opening back up now. But so this is why I talk about Spain and Italy. I am affiliated to Spain. We lived out there for 10 years ourselves. My son was born in Spain. My son's a Spanish citizen and can be a Spanish citizen if he wants. So I do have an affiliation to Spain. However, the reason I'm choosing Spain and Italy is to see the trends of those behind us, what they did, to see the pattern at which they have evolved. So we can see that this is an organic situation and not a case of 5G networks. Okay, so Spain as of yesterday was 85,043. 85,043. Today they're 85,511. So this is the first. I do believe that this is the first time that Spain has gone up in active cases by less than 600 people. This is just over 500 people. Actually it's less than 500 people. So it's 85,043 and 85 today, 85,511. So this is the first time they've hit less than 500 new active cases in a day. What does that tell you? It means they're locked down. However, even though it came a little late, it's working for them. Okay, that's active new cases, and the deaths the new deaths in Spain. As of yesterday was 15,165. Today is 15,843. So you can still see, even though their numbers, the newly admitted people are falling way fast, the death rate is still quite high, but a lot less than where they were. So if you do the maths, 165 to 843, so we're talking just the highest 600s in death in the last 24 hours. Very high. We know this is very high, but if they hadn't locked down, I think you'll be seeing those numbers like the US today. Okay, Italy, again, Italy is 2 weeks behind Spain, so we're using them as a benchmark because France is 2 weeks ahead of them, and we're sort of 2.5, 3 weeks ahead of them. So Italy, as of yesterday, deaths was 95,262. In today, they're 96,877. In terms of deaths, 18. Yesterday, Italy was 17,669. So about 17,700. Today, they're 18,279. So again, they've only gone up by just over 500 deaths. Again, a sharp decline. So they're on that downward spiral. You know, they soon will be open. However, imagine what happened if they open people up now. If they unlock the lockdown now that it's coming down. Okay, because I keep hearing talk about opening the lockdown, which is a dangerous move. The Chinese did not unlock their cities until they literally had, the only new cases they had in their country was 14 new people that just came from outside of the country, and then they monitored those people, and then they put in a system in place where if you come into the country, you go straight for 2 weeks quarantine. They don't care. You are going for 2 weeks quarantine as soon as you visit that country, and plus your visit has to be really important too. You're not coming over there for fraff. Okay, it was after that period, that's been about 2.5 weeks now of literally 0 cases, 10 cases, 11 cases, 2 cases, mostly from imported cases as well. It was not until then that they decided to open up their cities slowly as well. The whole city is unopened, but essential services are open now, hairdressers, barbers and things like this. Right, so Italy would have been in bigger trouble if they hadn't locked down. So let's move to Norway. Remember, Norway has 8G. This is why we pick them. They have 7 and 8G, so we pick them for that purpose, right? Now, Norway, as of yesterday, had 5,909 cases. which is new cases, and only 101 deaths. And please excuse my only, because 101 people died is massive. I mean, imagine a bus with 100 people. That's a lot of people. So of course, the 101 deaths is massive. When I use only, I'm using only for a reason. Okay, so do bear with me on that. So 101 deaths in Norway yesterday. Today, 108 deaths. 6,079 new cases today. 5,909 as of yesterday. So they've put on, that's 100 and so just about 180, around 180, 178, round about that. So less than 200 new cases in the past 24 hours. Only 7 cases. If you remember, if you watched yesterday's video, they only went up by was it 12, 11 or 12 yesterday. They've gone up by less again today. They've only gone up by 7 new deaths. That's amazing, my friends, for a country that has 8G. If 8G killed, if radiation from cell towers killed, this country, my friends, should be down on its knees right now, because none of these other countries where people are dying even has 7, never mind 8G. Okay, that's why Norway is in this. Now Sweden as of yesterday had 8,143 active cases. Today they have it's still the same amount, funny enough. Yeah, unless they haven't updated their numbers. Okay, and as of yesterday, they had 793. Today they have 840. Okay, and then that's Sweden has no 5G. They have more deaths than a country that's got 7G. Again, my guess is something's killing them, and that something is coronavirus, as real as a heart attack. Okay, the last one is PNG, Papua New Guinea. Those of you who watched my previous videos recall that Papua New Guinea hasn't even got 4G. They're just now pulling them in place. They were working off 1G. Their master's just now going up and should be completed at the end of this year. So there isn't even a 5G to talk about. There is sparsely any 4G at all. And they have cases there. Surprise, surprise. I wonder why. Clearly, it's not some form of radiation that's killed the 2 people. But again, their numbers are very static, which is 2 dead as of yesterday, still 2 dead today. I beg your pardon, 2 new cases as of yesterday, still 2 cases as of today. So no further cases. You know why there is no further cases? Because of the travel ban. We've stopped traveling for the last 3-4 weeks now. There's been very, very little traveling. If we were still traveling, little Papua New Guinea will be suffering from the virus that we are spreading by touching, traveling, and contacting each other, which radiation cannot do. You cannot infest someone else just because you've got radiation inside of you. Okay, so person to person contact, kissing, touching, hugging, you cannot pass it on if the news spreaders, if the fake news carriers were right. Okay, Papua New Guinea would not be at still 2 infected and 0 deaths if we were still traveling. The only reason they're still at 0, my friends, is because we've stopped traveling. Okay, so that's how this has spread. Nothing to do with 5G. Right, now I want to move on to the topic of the day. I'm sure many of you have been waiting for this topic. It's a very hot topic at the moment, and it's the hype, fake news, demonizing a great person that I think is a great person, Bill Gates, who's done tremendous amount of stuff. That once we've spoken about this on this today, those of you who were in doubt, I think you'll start to do some research for yourselves. And I'm not here to put my opinions across to yourselves. I'm just here to deal with fake news, give you the common tools, the common sense way to approach it and decipher it. Before I deal with this, there is an important video that I do want to play. Many of you, some of the rumors wrapped around Bill Gates is that he's a part of this conspiracy that's that's brought about this virus due to 5G. And he's the guy who's going to come in with the vaccine and also has the technology to bring in the chips. And we're all going to get chipped. And please don't take no vaccine, and don't take no vaccine, and don't trust the big government. Don't trust the new world order. My topic for tomorrow is going to be about the world order, the so-called new world order. I've just discovered something in the last 24 hours that's really shocking to me, because many people talk about things that they truly don't even know about. My challenge at the end of this show, I'm going to put my email address up. I want you guys to write to me between today and tomorrow what you think the new world order is or means. Not what it's going to do. I know what the conspiracy theories are going around. No, but my question is, what do you actually believe to be the new world order? When somebody says the new world order, what do you think that means? Do you think it means an order from the world leaders to direct you to do something? What is it that you think the new world order means? I'm going to put my email address up at the end of this show. Contact me by email. I'd like to interact with you guys. I just want to, before I address that topic tomorrow, and tomorrow's going to be our last show before Monday. We won't be doing a show on Easter Sunday. So tomorrow's show, and then we'll have a break on Easter Sunday, and then we'll be back. We'll come back on Easter Monday and talk to you guys every day. But for tomorrow's Saturday's show, the 11th of April, can you guys take the time out to email me, because I'd like to get feedback from you guys about what you guys think the new world order actually means, right? So we know the rumors around Bill Gates. So before I continue and go into Bill Gates, I want to play a video from Barack Obama in 2014, okay? 6 years ago. Now watch this video and I'll come right back to you.
Than what we witness on a daily basis from the Trump White House. President Trump also likes to say that nobody saw the pandemic coming. Really? Well, here's a warning from President Barack Obama back in 2014. There may and likely will come a time in which we have both an airborne disease that is deadly. And in order for us to deal with that effectively, we have to put in place an infrastructure, not just here at home, but globally, that allows us to see it quickly, isolate it quickly, respond to it quickly. So that if and when a new strain of flu, like the Spanish flu, crops up 5 years from now or a decade from now, we've made the investment. And we're further along to be able to catch it. And guess what?
All right, now you can see from that video that somebody knew something was coming. Somebody knew that we needed to prepare for this. Someone knew that we needed to get ready for something that like this that could happen. Okay, so it's not a conspiracy. He's telling you on that video that it's best that we are prepared in case it comes. 6 years ago. So about the vaccine now, I was watching Magic Johnson. You all recall who Magic Johnson is. He caught HIV in 1991. Nearly 30 years ago now. He caught the virus. At the time that he caught the virus, there wasn't a vaccine. But I do recall in 1991, even though I was young at the time, 21, 20, 22, 23 years old, I was very aware of the news and I was keeping in touch with everything. Whereas there was a lot of rumors going around, I wasn't dealing with the rumors, I was dealing with the real facts. Now, Bill Gates is somebody who has been dragged into the conspiracy theory. People, let me tell you something. What you don't understand is this. Whenever you have a rich person who spends his wealth on the poor, who makes it his mission to better the lives of the less blessed, okay, you will always get those other people on the other side angry, upset that this rich billionaire, just like them, is paying attention to these poor people. George Soros, look him up. He's blamed for everything on the left. If you are a political person, if you're a type of Jeremy Corbyn who wants to help the world, and Jeremy Corbyn has a good heart. He wants to help the world. However, the world can't see his vision. Okay, so whenever you have a billionaire like Bill Gates, who isn't just for the oil rich, who isn't just spending his money on artwork, on lavish parties for people just like him, but instead taking his money to cure people, there is always a conspiracy theory against these people, always started by the people on the other side, because they just don't like it. Let me state some facts for you guys, and bear with me on this, okay? I want to start this part of my show by saying something to all of you out there. Those of you, David Icke, there's a lady called Kate, and all of these naysayers and all of these fake news carriers, can I tell you what the real radiation and the real cancer is? The real radiation and the real cancer, my friends, is fake news. Fake news is spreading slowly, okay? It's getting into our psyches. It's getting into our bone marrows. That's the real cancer, my people, okay? So let me discuss the reason why many of you believe that Bill Gates is a part of this vaccine thing, and then once I've done this, I'm going to go to the end. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you what I think about the vaccine myself, but I just want to dispel some of that. I want to give you guys some facts. Now, Bill Gates' motto, okay, is that we should all have equal lives, whether you're rich or you're poor. Those of you who followed his life story, remember that even his own children are living on the source wages that his managers in his businesses earn. Okay, so they're not living like billionaire children. He's got funds, billions of funds in trust funds for his own children and his children's children. Now, let me tell you a few things that this man's done. This man runs a project called Innovation in Outcome Measurement, is IOM. Now, this is the only project, okay, that this is the only if it was a company, yeah, because when I need to put in a way that people do understand. If this was a company, it's not a company, it's a project, okay, and it's a project under his foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, this IOM, okay, the Innovation and Outcome Measurement Foundation, if it was a company, is the only company out there, okay, that's linking innovation in technology, that's linking new things that are discovered, okay, and linking those with the lives of farmers in Africa, right? That's just one. So if, I'll give you an example. That company, if it was a company, is the only entity in the whole world. Not the African governments even do that for their own people. So this company, for a company, is the only entity on the planet that sits down and monitors discoveries. So if someone in the Ukraine discovered a new type of tractor, for example, this entity, its job is to see how any new innovations is able to help farmers in Africa as a whole, so they can scale up their business. Remember, if this thing is invented in the Ukraine, it's then ranked up, the production is then ranked up, and British farmers will get it, Russian farmers will get it, US farmers will get it, Spanish farmers, Italian farmers. The African farmers are left out. This entity is the only entity that makes sure that new innovations are linked with opportunities, with people, with farmers, that they can say, look, this is how you do your farm. Guess what? There's something new that's just come out. This is it, and it can help you. All right? So that's just one. Number two, he's got Coffee Initiative, right? That means that helps rural coffee farmers advance and globalize their products, right? He's got growing the cashew industry project, right? Which helps, the name says it all, okay? Cashew industry to globalize. We've got farmers if we had cashew, we could grow cashew in the UK. You'd have farmers will mechanize the whole thing so that the cashews coming out the ground in 50 years ago would have been producing maybe 1 ton of cashew maybe a ton of cashew a year. But over 50 years, we've now grown and we're able to now, the same farm hasn't grown, but the same farm is now able to produce 50 tons a year from 1 ton, okay? That's mechanizing production. He's got a project, okay, that helps cashew farmers in Africa, right across Africa. He's got another one called Improving Livelihoods Through Cocoa. So cocoa grow, and then he also has Improving Livelihoods Through Cocoa. Now, basically, it tells itself the cocoa production regions in Africa pumping billions and setting up sort of networks so they're able to work together and bring their product to the West. Okay. Then he has another entity called EADD. It's called East African Dairy Development. Now, this is designed to help ordinary farmers, okay, turn their farms into businesses. So a lot of farmers in Africa are little farmers. A lot of them are thinking just to provide for their family in a little community. So one farms yam and the other one sells in milk, or they got chicken and all of that. His idea is to make these guys become businessmen, okay? Now, then you move on to Project Nature, which he does in conjunction with Coca-Cola. This has helped over 50,000 small mango and passion fruit farmers in Kenya. This is based in 2 countries because that's where the most that's where they mechanized, if you like, or made production of mango and passion fruit to businesses. So this is helping at this moment in time over 50,000 small-time mango and passion fruit farmers in Kenya and Uganda to scale up their farms, okay, to make their farms industrial, right? So they go on to the next level. Then he's got flood relief in Peru, okay? Flood relief in Peru, which is, obviously, if you guys remember El Nino was a hurricane of global warming situations, which turns basically roads and farms into rivers, okay? Since then, in 2017, when El Nino was at its height and really demolishing South America and Asia, he's been involved in El Nino projects to help those farms that are damaged. Okay, so but he's still there since 2017, still pumping money into it because the effects of El Nino and the effects of those floods are still being felt right now. Okay, so my friends, this guy's intentions are good ones. Now, many of you are going to argue with me. I've seen a video where African ladies have told the camera that, yeah, they were being vaccinated. Yeah, they were being sterilized and all of this. A part of me watched it just like you guys and believed it because, hell, how can this woman not be telling the truth? However, when you look behind what's going on now, is it really beyond the realms of imagination that their minds have also been poisoned? Is it really beyond imagination that if you put a camera in front of some of my friends right now and put a mic in front of them and they were qualified scientists, and they still believed what they believe. If you put a mic to them, give them a mic and say to them, what do you think about this vaccine? What do you think about coronavirus, COVID-19? Many of them would tell you, yeah, I'm a scientist. I know what I'm talking about. This is 5G radiation. They will tell you that, point blank. Okay? People like David Icke are putting fake doctors on The other day, he put a doctor who's a New York State doctor. Surprise, surprise, he's not a doctor anymore. He's now a psychiatrist. So he probably went to study psychiatry to help himself. But these are the types of expert that people like David Icke will put on his show. He will tell you this is a New York State doctor who is very well respected. Listen to him speak. And then you do a bit of digging and then you find out this doctor is actually a psychiatrist. He hasn't practiced medicine for donkeys. Okay, so it isn't beyond my imagination that when I've watched programs about these African ladies, I mean, these people can't even read a newspaper. They can't even write their names in their own languages. Never mind somebody from abroad coming to them and saying, don't take this vaccine, they are doing this. I haven't seen any proof, is my point, my people. I haven't seen any proof that this guy is setting out, right, to sterilize the population of Africa. And I'm going to come to that now in a second. So let me carry on a little bit about Bill Gates and then we'll get to the real crux. 1 billion he has given to malaria. $1 billion he has spent on eradicating malaria. Because of his handiwork, people, since 2000 he started this project. In 20 years, he has done more than all of the African governments put together. He's eradicated 55%, to the level of 55% less of malaria infections today in the continent of Africa. You name me one government, one entity, the UN, the World Health Organization, the WHO, whose job it should be. All the countries donate money and put money into the WHO. It's their job to use that money to eradicate stuff. Do they spend it on Africa? No, they don't. However, there's a single individual who's worth billions, who's making it his life project to help the poor countries that are being forgotten and are being left behind. This man single-handedly eradicated malaria to the tune of, it's dropped by 42%. 42% since 2000 when he started this project. Why do you think malaria has never been eradicated in the West? Ask yourselves that. Do you know why? Because the Western countries don't have malaria. The Western countries do not have malaria. If malaria killed us in the UK, it would have been eradicated a long time ago. If malaria killed the US, it would have been eradicated a long time ago. Let me give you a quick statistics just to tell you what the US did with what's it called, with polio. All right. Now, in the US in 1952 was when the polio vaccine was invented. Finally, 1952. People have been dying of polio before that. When it hit the US and it nearly took out it affected over 350,000 children in the US. They sat up, worked on it, and eradicated it. It's the way the West thinks. If it bothers them, they eradicate it. If it doesn't bother them, let it carry on in it. Okay? But when those same people that make those decisions, when they hear of somebody like Bill Gates stepping up to do what they should be doing, you get little snipes at that person, little bits of snipe after them. It's not new behavior. Why do you think Ebola has still really not been eradicated? They started to make ways on eradicating it for good. You know why? Because Obama was in charge. Ebola keeps coming back time and time again, but it's never really broken out in the West, has it? When Ebola breaks out in the West, that's when Ebola is eradicated totally. They invent a vaccine for it. Polio, it's been eradicated up to about 98% of the world. In the West, they eradicated it. But guess what they didn't do? They kept the vaccine that expensive that it took the third world countries to either buy it at some crazy prices or invent it themselves. Hence, India, only in 2011, has just eradicated polio. 2011. Polio, when you think about polio, polio is a 50s, 60s thing. So if you're a Western child, you're hardly likely to pick up polio in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. If you're someone who lives in the Western world, polio is still very much of your daily life, my friends, until people like Bill Gates putting pressure, plus hand in hand with countries who had to develop it themselves, because buying the medicines and vaccines from the West was too expensive. Then, like I said, it was only when the US lost all these children, right, that they invented a vaccine for polio. Now, let me tell you, Bill Gates isn't just working in Africa. Bill Gates has projects in Peru, like I said. Did you know that Bill Gates, I'll tell you a quick statistic. Did you know that in the US has the highest death rate at childbirth for both mother and child? The United States of America, okay, the richest country in the world. Do you know they have an issue with childbirth? Do you know who dies most from childbirth? The poor in America. Do you know why? Lack of universal health care. They don't have an NHS. So when you're having a child, your chances of that child having a smooth birth and the mum coming out the other end depends on how much money you have, your status. We don't have that in the UK, do we? We have the NHS. So rich or poor, you get the same treatment. The US isn't like that. What did Bill Gates do? Bill Gates has a death in childcare project for only the US. Bill Gates has an AIDS project. He has a clean water project. Okay? So the Bill Gates Foundation, my friend, is not about chipping you and sterilizing black people and inventing a chip so that you can be given new world orders. It's just what people are saying, okay? So basically, what this guy does, this guy's mentality, again, as I said in my previous line, right, is all about all lives have equal value. That's what Bill Gates is all about, people. I'm going to put up links for you to go into and look into the things I'm telling you about. And you'll be very shocked to see a different side of this. Bye-bye.